Parse Productions is bringing it back here. Cedar Creek Open, round 2, back 9. This is a fun one here. Brought to you by OTB Disc. Gotta go, gotta throw. Gravity Disc. Myself, Ben Kroll on the mic.
And Derek Sahr, and what a star-studded card. These guys have been, some people getting some trees, some people getting some clean shots. It's been a pretty interesting round, that's for sure. So we will start this thing off right on hole 10. Par 3, 295 feet. Probably one of the more open holes, if not the most open hole on this course. Got a lot of real estate to work with. Basket's just tucked away a little bit into the tree line.
Yeah, I feel like this hole plays much further than 295. I'd probably say even closer to like 350. Looks like they cleared out a lot of those trees, though. They've been shaved up to about that kind of 8-foot mark. They'll have one tree in the way and probably about a jump putt at it.
Yeah, you're right, Ben. I forget that the bushes around the basket used to be a lot taller, causing an encumbered putt even where Cale just landed.
Yeah, and we're on the west course here at the Cedar Creek property here, public park. 3 courses in total. And this is our second round of the day as well. Noah got up there pin height, but he'll have a couple trees to deal with. Yeah, and there's a lot of cedar trees here on this west course. As we talked about before, a lot of players having to play from them as well, too. Being only 10, 15 feet away from some of these baskets. You got to bring your putting game out here to Cedar Creek, that's for sure.
Nice. That's the worst shot you've thrown all day.
Jake, very critical of himself there. He probably needed a couple more feet of height there, and it may have came back there and tilted back at the hole. But going to be ending up with just a 3, likely.
Oh, my. Just a spike hyzer. That's all it is.
So we're already on the most open hole that we've played so far. And Aiden still goes up and over. I think he has a putt. I didn't really see where that actually ended up.
Yeah, wow. I didn't even know that was a line. The big spike hyzer over the top shot. Crazy by Aiden. And I love it when he gets to show off his power. That looked really good out of Jake's hand right there. That was quite close, just a little short.
Yeah, and they've had a pretty gorgeous day all day. It felt like there's a little more wind the first round than the second round.
Yeah, I believe there were some storm clouds coming in, and I don't know if this is the calm before the storm or what, but yeah, you can see the color scheme getting a little bit darker here towards the end of this round.
Yeah, Cale letting that putt get away from him a little bit. Got about 20, 25 feet left with a tree in the way. Aiden did get up here in the green. He's inside the circle.
Oh, man, that could have stuck. Heck, if his putter maybe have beat in just a little bit more, that was really close by Aiden. Oh, to get a... Oh, no.
Right on it as well. Just short, hitting the nub.
Oh, and Cale having that tree right in his way. Kind of deciding left or right. Are you more comfortable, Ben, putting with your dominant hand on the mini or with your dominant foot on the mini? Or does that make sense? What foot, left or right?
I like leaning out to the right.
Leaning out to the right? Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels more comfortable. Feels more natural for me. Cale, I feel like that's the second time in a row now he chose leaning out to the left. I think he definitely has a little bit straighter putt than I do. He uses those P Model S's. I think it's kind of changed his game a little bit last couple of years.
Yeah, kind of just all hyzer the entire time,
but they just go straight.
Yeah,
he throws that hyzer, but they keep going straight the whole way. Yeah, he's sweating that one a little bit, but
yep.
Puts it in.
You know, even being a veteran of the game as long as Cale has, and you know he still takes those deep breaths after coming home with a nice big putt.
Yeah, they're all here just tapping in threes. making this hole look much more difficult than I really feel like it is.
Yeah, I was expecting at least somebody to get it. And I do love Aiden's shot, though. And no movement. 19, 17, 13, 12. Man, what a fun round that we are watching here as we jump into hole 11, par 3, 280 feet. You see this drone flight here, but it's actually not a favored play. People like to go on this inside skinny gap. You play a hyzer all the way to the basket here, just cresting over these trees on this very tight green.
Yeah, there's so many trees to hit on this hole. So easy to get grabbed and pulled down, get stuck in the middle of one of these trees and have really tough up and down. Cale, very good stall shot. This looks money. Yeah, 20 feet short, and I think he'll be looking at another birdie.
And what a great shot. And it takes so much distance control because if you go too far forward, there's that tree line that gets very, very thick.
Yeah, this is part of the course. The next few holes play very, very difficult. All the holes are going to be blind and a lot of trouble to be had. No, I think going a little too long, getting kind of lucky, staying inside the fairway and even having a putt from about 50 feet.
You know, there is a forehand gap. I don't think you'll be able to see it on the coverage, but I don't know if Jake has ever seen it, but he's still going with that backhand, kind of the standard play.
Great shot there from Jake. Didn't quite get all the way back left towards the hole, but he's right on the circle.
Shouldn't be too tough for Aiden to get the distance. Yeah, and what a great shot out of Aiden there.
Getting a little action on the green, inside the circle as well.
Yeah, that's what he needed. Get something pretty close to have a look for a birdie. He's kind of flattened out at the moment, and love to see Aiden get back on a train.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the wind or if Noah just got that really nose down, never gave it a chance.
I'd love to see Aiden just smash this putt here, get his confidence going back, and hopefully rattling off a few birdies after this as well. Just a bit right. A little tough on that.
Yeah, he's just not quite on. Jake, great putt there. I feel like Noah and Aiden really need to get their game going if they want to stay on the lead card going into the final day. Great putt there from Jake. He definitely wants to stay on this lead card.
And Cale with a tree trying to push him over, but unfazed. And these guys just cleaning up here. What a beautiful property that these three courses are on. Gotta love coming out to Fairmont, Minnesota, and playing one of the best tournaments in Minnesota.
I saw Derek Sahr.
Yeah, a little Derek Sahr spotting right there. I remember I talked to Jake for a little bit, just, said a friendly hello, and he was doing good. He was in good spirits, so there you are. Jeez, decent little hole there. A couple birdies, a couple pars.
Yeah, it brings us into the very difficult and treacherous hole 12. It plays out onto a peninsula, and it plays as a par 4 because the access to the green is so difficult, but you can get there in one. I've seen big thumbers get there, my boy Mitch. But even a big Annie, late turning Annie, it could even get a putter down there. It doesn't take much if you can get the right line. But most players, I think, play just to the landing zone where the short basket is. Cale's trying to get there. I think he left this to the left, though.
Yeah, you heard Cale on earlier coverage saying something about commitment, and it looks like he just didn't quite commit to that shot there as well. And I think Jake is looking at the green here.
Yeah, that peninsula is so treacherous, though. It's so difficult. And it's anything across the water as well,
so
too.
bad.
You heard him say it. He did not like it out of the hand, and he's right next to Cale at the edge of the opening there.
Yeah, they should both be in a decent spot to get up and down for their birdie.
Still tricky, though, from where they're at. They need to manufacture a shot.
And Noah needs to make something happen, so yeah, not surprised. He's going to be going for this green here. Oh my goodness.
Great camera angle to catch that.
Yeah. Wow, and like Ben said, being on a peninsula, if you go a little too deep, left or right, you're going to be sitting in that creek bed, which is out of bounds, but you know you're putting up for a birdie from there, so what are you really missing?
Again, mid-August, Minnesota, very sticky weather. This tournament always seems to be very warm, very humid. This looks a little wide, but actually came in just early.
Yes. He was about to do. I'm like, bro, I don't know.
And that kick back might actually not be so bad. It might give him a little bit better angle into the green.
Yeah, I'm curious as to where Jake and Cale are. It looks like Jake's opting for the forehand here. Got to be very careful approaching this green.
Just barely grabbing a couple limbs, and he may not even have a putt from where he's at.
Looks like Cale just trying to find his way in somehow, in some way, shape, or form.
He is trying to really get up and down from here.
Tell you what, if he can get a... Oh, my.
No way.
What? So impressive. His scramble game, a guy without having, the best forehand in the world, his scramble game is just as good as anybody's. So cool to see Cale doing stuff like that with just a backhand. Aiden has to get this high enough. Yeah, it looks like he did it right. Great shot by Aiden.
Lucky he's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
He's not 7 feet tall, but
Yeah,
he is a pretty tall guy, though.
Yeah, very. This would be a great putt for Jake.
Garbage, dude.
Yeah, he is not very happy with that effort. Again, any tree here, not even just the cedars, anything just grabs you, holds you. You don't want to touch these trees, period. You just want to keep it in the fairway if you can. Yeah, there's a good look at the field over there. That would be your fairway of hole 2.
Yeah, this course also is it flows extremely well on West. It just Noah threw with his eyes closed, but yeah, this course just flows so well, and Noah with that insane eagle there. What an amazing hole for Noah.
Yeah, I feel like much needed too at that time. As we get into hole 13, another blind hole, very difficult par 3, 310 feet. You can keep it low here and get all the way to the hole, but I think most players, especially these top guys, go up and over. Anything really works, but usually like a nice turning fairway driver or something that just kind of floats down towards the basket. As you see here from Noah, see if it holds enough, though. It's kind of coming out.
Chris, I was going to say Lundquist.
You heard someone yell, ow.
Good timing, too, on that.
We'll have to see if we get confirmation that it actually was someone getting hit or not. That is a tee pad over there for the next hole. So fairly open area. So I think Noah will be okay for his, easy 3. Cale just not getting the height on that. But again, it looks a little cleaned up in that area where he hit. It can be pretty bad there. Some years especially, it's been pretty thick.
Yeah, he had a very fortunate kick to the fairway on the right side. You can kind of go left or right fairway on this one if you do happen to go up the gut. But like you said, Ben, these players are going to be going up and over, and even if you do hyzer off on it like Noah did, you're still looking at a pretty open shot. And Aiden likes a big run up.
Wow, he threw that thing so high. I don't even know has enough energy to come back. Oh my gosh.
It looked like he turned that over so much, but I know the discs he throws are stupid overstable and just came out of it and 30-footer.
I kind of like this forehand lane. If you have a big enough forehand, I feel like the line is better.
Oh, no.
He overturned that pretty hard.
What's happening here?
We'll have to see if he got up or how far.
Yeah, in these pines, as you see, there's almost no room for your hand to make a throwing motion in there as well. So your best bet is to just try to get out.
And he's going to have to settle for his 4. Cale lined up very well with this gap. Pretty cake for Cale, but he really left that low.
Wonderful up shot by Jake. Pretty routine with one of his little harps. And there it is. The rain has begun. Those rain clouds were just kind of peaking at the beginning.
After we having such a nice day. And this is just starting to wear on these guys as competitors as well. I mean, they're playing their 31st hole of the day on some very difficult courses. Now it's going to rain on them. Who knows if they even have their umbrellas or not, because it's just a weird pocket in Minnesota where you'll just all of a sudden get rain clouds and rain area that they'll just hit out of nowhere. It never was on the radar, never was predicted. And so far we see absolutely no umbrellas. And I'm guessing it was not forecasted.
Yeah, they're all just kind of taking it. Jake seeking asylum underneath that pine tree there, but only for a brief moment.
Hopefully we can keep those cameras okay and not get damaged.
Yeah.
And we saw Aiden unfortunately missing his birdie attempt, but a very great drive. Couple 4s, couple 3s, and that's kind of how that hole plays. It's a very bonus 2 if you can get it, and you really just want to get a 3, and that's very difficult. Even if you were playing for a 3, I think it'd be hard to do.
Yeah, that is very true. And hole 14, par 3, 305 feet. I feel like it plays a little shorter because it does go downhill towards the end. A lot of players will opt for the big hyzer backhand, just pushing that back tree line and then having it fall left. There is out of bounds if you go too far to the left, but it is difficult to reach.
Yeah, and this is another one. If you get off this fairway at all, if you get into that line of trees on the backside, it can be very, very tough to get up and down from. Noah getting very close to the OB, but should be just fine and probably just outside the circle. Great line. That looks very good as well from Aiden. Got a little lift, really getting a little left. I think it held up, though. I don't see the OB sign.
Yeah, I'm hoping that did. His shot was so good, and it kind of took an unfortunate little hop off the ground.
Hey, good lift there by Cale. I mean, that thing was a little low, I thought, out of his hand. I cannot
No
believe that. That thing looked like it
way.
was going to sit underneath the basket for a second.
The wood chips.
They kind of ramped up on him
Yeah.
and then curled back down him. And he's puts himself at that circle's edge.
Poor Cale. That is unlucky, to say the least.
Yeah, everybody else is throwing a kind of at least a fairway driver, and I think this is just a justice here from Lauber.
He loves that orange justice. He leans on it quite a bit, and you can see why.
It doesn't get as much action on the green either. He keeps himself about 20 feet, just short left. And it is starting to rain. You can see the camera guys just putting some towels over the cameras. Hopefully that works.
Oh, a bit high from Noah.
Do you relief off this fence?
And yes, Cale, I believe you do get a relief
And
off
I
the
believe
fence.
it's 2 meters instead of 1 meter as well.
Yeah, and you know, I guess I can't think of it off the top of my head about the if out of bounds or an unsafe lie, because that is a barbed wire fence right there. So getting a decent amount of relief off that, so nobody gets hurt. But it looks like it's just the out of bounds rule. He doesn't look like he's any more than that a couple feet.
Yeah, Cale knowing Jake's pretty close. Wants to put this in. Yeah.
Very smooth. That was just a standard Cale putt if I've ever seen one.
Dead center on the pole. Good pace.
Yeah, just a very short and concise swing.
Kind of left straddle, left step, so you're not actually stepping forward as well.
Yeah, that was very prime by Cale right there, showing his true class.
Now, Jake here, not to lose a stroke to Cale. These little 15, 20 footers that you just expect to hit just get that much more difficult in the rain. That almost was low from Jake. Good
Yeah.
putt though.
Yeah, I know there's two types of players in disc golf. One is guys that like to really towel off their discs and take their time and really go slow in the rain. And the other guys, I actually got lucky to play with Ricky at the Ledgestone. It was pouring rain, and he goes fast, very, very fast when it's raining.
Yeah, and this is the time where I like my boy Roger on the bag. Having a caddy makes a huge difference in weather like this. Can save you a few strokes at the very least and help with your mental game as well. And a couple birdies, couple pars, getting back to that old action. So getting to hole 15. This is one of the newer holes on the course, and it is so difficult. This bend here at about 150 feet, serpentines to the left. Serpentines to the right, then comes back to the left here at the end after it straightens out. It's listed at a par 4, only 370 feet. If you play your angles right, I could almost see you getting to this basket if you throw a really overstable disc at a really aggressive angle. But really just what Cale's doing here, you kind of got to get inside. You really kind of got to penetrate the gap a little bit, though. I don't think you can just play a little soft Annie like Cale did there and get enough to really get up for your up and down. The green is very treacherous, very right to left, very steep at the end, and this entire hole does not let you breathe. Jake getting through the trees, and he may have a little something to get up and down from there. But even that, it really has to be inside. You really have to kind of almost pull it in and just barely miss the trees, which is scary to do because that could be really bad if you hit them.
And Noah's kind of making the one mistake you can make with that shot is going too far forward on the forehand skip play. There is also an inside line on the right, but that's more of a for fun practice shot, try to get to the green kind of thing. But it is there. If you see, there is a gap all the way to the right there. It's very tight.
All these forehands going too long. And I think Jake was the only one that was fortunate enough to get to a spot where he may be able to get up and down.
Yeah, you just got to kind of break this hole down. You know, you don't want to do too much on it because then you'll get yourself into some big trouble, and just bite off only as much as you know that you can chew on this hole, even if you do go 150 feet. Wow. And Cale will have a look at a 3 birdie for this hole.
From an almost impossible spot. He was so far back, and he just threw a great shot with that stable M4. Good action as well, too, on the ground. And he's got a very difficult putt, though, that he's going to have to decide if he wants to go for it or not. And Noah from an even more difficult spot, I felt like. Actually, he got kicked out to the fairway, but just a few feet up from Cale, throwing this amazing forehand.
I wonder if he even knows how great of a shot he just had. I can't believe that. Just threw everything, and wow, played to perfection. And this is kind of the tough thing. You got to pitch out because there's those staggered trees throughout the woods.
It's the best angle you could have put it down on.
He's happy with his angle, he said, but that was money. I think the grass slowed him down just perfect. You never know how far down you're going to go down that hill before it starts to curl.
Yeah, you have to have so much trust in your disc to be able to throw a forehand roller on a right to left green for it to curl up at the end.
And this is a very difficult position. I've been here before. So many of those little limbs and trees, and he is going to be taking a bogey, it looks like, on this hole at the very least.
Yeah, very long look, and actually quite close, but
and yeah, not sure if that hit something behind that kept it a little closer, but he's only got about 20 feet left back. Cale from about 30 feet, a couple trees around him.
oh, that just looked like it fell out of his hand a little bit.
And the rain's already done as well.
Yeah, it just kind of really poured and then stopped right here. I remember we just got to the open holes at this point when it started pouring rain, and we were like, oh, man.
Great putt from Aiden there to save his bogey. Noah, just an amazing 3. That was awesome to watch.
Yeah, seeing even 1-3 on a card is so rare, and we have a potential to see 2.
Yeah, we had the potential for 3, but
We
kept
did.
him just short. I got faith that Lauber's going to hit this one, though, from about 18 feet.
Wow. They played this hole very, very well. Great job by this top card here at this large A-tier Cedar Creek Open. Holy cow, that is even a 5 on that hole feels good.
Yeah, I remember when we first made this hole, or when Trevor first made this hole, I think it was listed at a par 5 because the angles are so difficult to hit. But I mean, they keep cleaning these fairways off, and it makes more sense to turn them into, say, a par 4 like that hole there.
Hole 16, par 3, 320 feet. This hole plays a lot further. It feels like 360 to 380 because you are playing uphill the entire way. This green is absolutely stunning, just right on this hillside, right on the property line as well. And Jake throwing a putter forehand. I can't throw a putter forehand this far. This is a bomb.
Yeah, it's an absolute rip. The wind is also ripping here, as you can see. He came up short. He seems confused, but that is a long shot. I'm throwing a big, high-speed driver out to the right. It is a kind of a spike angle. Noah might even be just throwing a fairway driver himself here.
Yeah, you kind of have either that hyzer over the top and holy cow, no, amazing shot, or you can throw the forehand, kind of what Jake was going for, but something a little bit faster.
Yeah, there's a creek off to the left, and it's not very good footing over there as well either, so you don't want to be there at all. telling you there's a road up at the top of the hill, but very difficult to get in. Very good angle here from Cale. This might be running the basket. And it was just a little too high, though.
Yeah, very impressive shot. And it looks like since these guys were on hole 1 and 2 and those open holes, that the wind has died down pretty significantly for this back stretch. Aiden absolutely has the power to get there. Looking a little left, though.
Hopefully they can find that even. It's kind of thick around there.
This would be a really big putt for Jake. If he can just get this in, it'll put a little bit of pressure with Noah creeping up and just pushing left.
He's got a tough putt for the win that looked like he had. Just lifting the disc up, keeping the nose up the whole way. Hard to stick it in, which you really need to on these prodigy baskets. Great putt from Aiden in the wind.
Yeah, it's nice to see Aiden get a birdie there. I'm hoping he can finish on this stretch. You know, these next few holes play really well for him, so I'd like to see Aiden finish with a turkey here.
Just got a replay brought to you by OTB Disc. And it's cool that each one of these courses has a different color basket as well to designate it. Aiden pretty happy there.
Yeah, even though we may not be having the best round, he's still got great spirits, very happy, and he's a great guy to play with if you ever get a chance to play with him. Cale racking up another birdie to add to his 22 birdies so far this tournament. Jeez.
He's even had a couple bogeys maybe.
Yeah,
too,
yeah. So yeah, it's more than that.
More than that. Jake not keeping pace on this one though. Great look from Cale's D1. 3 birdies there on hole 16. Pretty standard, I feel like, for a pro card, even in this wind. Hole 17, 250 feet, plays all downhill. Got a couple different options here. You see the fairway to the left. Nice little forehand. It's kind of a tough mid-range as it can just float a little too long into the creek that's long, about 30, 40 feet from the hole. Again, gets even more downhill by the hole, but I feel like a lot more players play a big righty backhand hyzer that just kind of fades into the hole. And you're just looking for a putt. I feel like this is more of a bonus hole, but it is fairly open. And these guys really should be able to give themselves putts like Noah right there. Great looking shot. Made it look very easy.
Yeah, Noah is starting to put the gas down towards the end of this round here. This back nine has been absolute fire for Noah.
Yeah, Noah's a very big flow player. When he's in the flow, he is playing very well. Cale putting some pressure on the card, though, and he's putting it within 15, 20 feet. Noah giving him the heads up.
Aiden, I'm sure, going for the hyzer here. It always looks like he throws it so soft, like he has to really hold back, which is very true. And oh my goodness!
I think almost hopped in the basket on
Yeah.
that first skip. This grass, when it first gets wet, can get really skippy, I feel like. Jake just throwing a putter again.
Yeah, he can throw a putter forehand. I mean, him and Carl Hipp, if you know who that is, just can launch putters with a forehand. And
It could have been a grip issue right there. Not sure what happened, but he really overturned that and gripped that hard.
yeah,
Everybody else looking down a birdie, and Jake's unfortunately going to be just trying to pitch this up for an easy par.
yeah, a great upshot by Jake. Just got to keep it close. There's still a lot of golf left in this tournament, so A wonderful putt out of Aiden there, getting the birdie. It's 2 in a row. He just needs one more for my turkey, for Aiden.
I see 3 pretty easy birdies here, it looks like.
Yeah, and it's very hard. You're right. When you talked earlier about controlling the distance on this one, it's very difficult because the green slopes off fast, and you have the creek right behind it as well. Jake with the lone par again. Hopefully Jake can get to that 20 under mark where you're kind of going for that going into the first day.
Yeah, and this last hole is going to be one that every player here can get to pretty easy. But even off the tee, you don't know how you're sitting or not when you're walking up to the basket. It's always fun.
Yeah, the final hole of the second round of the Cedar Creek Open, hole 18 on West, par 3, 210 feet. Like Ben said, it is a blind shot, so you have to really feel it. A good spot to aim for is the edge of the building. It's not very far. You can throw a forehand or a backhand. Both are going to be completely equal. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to talk about on this hole. It's blind, and it is a bit deceiving.
Come on, baby.
I like the angle here from Noah. And throwing a backhand hyzer, it can really fade away and see how much that skipped to about 25 feet or so. Throwing a forehand will kill that skip a little more just because of the slope of the green. Cale throwing putter. Looks pretty wide, though. And it's not. It's perfect.
Wow, that thing hooked up pretty fast. I'm kind of
stable PA3.
Is that okay? Okay, because I was gonna say I thought he was a little too straight as well. That thing just hooked at the end. And Aiden, I'm hoping for the turkey.
A little fluffed. Yep. Yeah, we got about 30 feet. I guess it's hard when you can only throw about 30% on a throw.
Yeah, for him.
Or else you're going to go too long. Jake, this would be just a good one for his mental game to get. Good line if the distance is right. And just a little long, about 25 feet. Might have, looked like something was in his way, though. I couldn't tell what that was.
Oh, it's the
birdhouse.
The birdhouse. Well, hey, maybe that's an omen, Ben.
Yes, that is very true.
Get the birdie at the birdhouse.
And Aiden should be outside the circle here. He's been missing right all day. Just a hair to the right. Noah to keep this little hot streak going towards the end of the round. I think that barely hit any chains at all. And that's what I like about his putt. It's just going so nose down and so controlled that he doesn't even need the chains. He's just dropping it in a bucket.
Yeah, what a fantastic back nine for Noah. Wow. I mean, he came back and he struggled early and just came out firing in the back nine. And awesome round by Noah. And this is to keep it close to Cale. This would be a wonderful birdie to end your day on. Come on, Jake.
There you go, buddy.
Yes, good putt. Again, it just feels good to end with a birdie when you know you didn't really finish as strong as you wanted to.
Yeah, that looked a lot more Jake-esque. You can see the ground just saturated. He just, one swing of his disc and all the water falls off of it.
And when you're not prepared, when you don't know there's rain coming, again, you don't have the umbrella in the first place, and then you're using all your towels right away. You might not even have a dry towel left already. Great comeback there from Aiden, and you know, watch Cale tap in his birdie as we, again, thank all you viewers for donating again. Get on your coverage here. Some of it may be a little choppy, but again, we had to get this recovered, and we appreciate all you donating in. Gotta thank our sponsors as well, too. OTB Discs, Gotta Go, Gotta Throw, and Gravity Discs. These guys are having a good time on some tough courses. And Cale having a little lead as we go into our final third round again, there will be a final 9 as well too. So be on the lookout for more coverage from Cedar Creek Open and Parsay Productions.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and be sure to check out Central, the most difficult of the 3 courses next. Derek Sahr signing off.
Ben Kroll, take it easy, guys.